Alright. Hello, Dragon Ball community.
Dahan showing off the Android 17 deck profile for what I ran at our Cool Stuff Store Championship. We got a couple requests for this, showing off my take on the Android 17 U7 leader. So with this, it is a Gogeta 7 deck, so if that kind of kills the whole vibe or the spice that you were expecting from this deck, I mean, it is what it is. Android 17 is just the best Gogeta 7 deck in my opinion because of all the U7s you need to cycle away. He fills up the graveyard for Sparking 10 really efficiently and it lets you cycle to any answer cards you need. Like for me, like against Jaren matchups, I ended up cycling hard and mulliganing hard for the coolers to keep their board clear. But in general, all of your fusion targets are also U7. So Android 17 gets to really abuse in the deck construction of that. So we'll get right into it. The leader, auto when you swing, draw a card, or when you swing at a leader card, draw a card, and activate main, you can ditch a U7 to draw one. Quick cycles, helps fill a graveyard for Gogeta and finding other cards. Awaken is just draw one, untap one. Now the backside is the real value engine of this deck, and we'll get into that later. Auto when he swings at anything, now draw one and activate main for red and a blue mana. You bounce an opponent's battle cards, ignoring the mana cost, doesn't matter what, anything, and you can pick up any U7 in your drop area. Now I'm going to show you it throughout the video, all the cool combos you can do with this. Like this ability lets me essentially recycle my entire deck throughout the course of the game, and it's really impressive what it can do, especially against like Gohan decks, such like that. And activate once per turn. If you have 9 or more multicolor extra cards or U7s in your drop area, you get plus 5,000 double strike and critical. Now usually when you do this after a Gogeta 7, the last 2 cards will usually end up filling up the remaining cost for Union Fusion. So your Union Fusion at 8, so that you put the Son Goku in the Vegeta drop, and that makes Sparking 10, and that would usually be numbers 8 and 9 in the drop for your U7. Since I don't play the Invoker Splash that has the extra cards for you to help throw away with, like the Android 6 or Android 18 combo that lets you pitch extra cards to get extra combo power, we're not about that life. Now get right into it. So the main difference with mine is I do 4 coolers and the 3 rival Hercule Majin Boos. With these, lets you recycle and apply cheap board pressure and to control the board. Like the cooler does way too much for 1 mana. Being able to almost kill a battle card, and if you play 2 or in combination with Majin Buu, kill a card and they mill one and you get a cheap body to attack with, it's insane. And especially with Majin Buu, is you has many combos in the deck just because you can return any blue or red battle card back from your board back to hand. So you can rival Cool, rival Buu, kill a guy. This drew a card, then this comes back to your hand, end of turn. You lost nothing on exchange and you stopped an opponent's attack while still building a board with Majin Buu. There's only 3 checklists in here because honestly you don't need them, but it makes your mana a lot smoother for when you do. If you charge like a cooler turn 1 followed by this, your mana smooth, you don't have any problems anymore. But this is a deck that can get away with not really charging a multicolor, just charging 1 because you need the 1 for the Beerus super combo. Now for the super combos, we did a 2-2 split. I also might go up to a 3rd Beerus and cut down 1 backbone, but all these being U7s really help either fill up the graveyard quickly and just offer utility. As the Android 17, you can pay 2 mana, pick up a Beerus super combo, so you can untap one on the defensive and still a rival in a card, or untap for Bean and do any other place and never really tap out while still drawing 1 with the backside leader. Now you do a split, or I did the split because I can either get back mana, or if I'm going on the offense, so I can grab back a super combo and just keep going for more combo power and pressure. Now on this side we have the Gogeta 7 Union Fusion targets and also just overall good value U7s. Now the majority of this deck is all reactive, and it can be like proactive with the arrival cards as their cheap bodies you can play on the aggressive, but most of this is defensive and set up for Gogeta 7 followed up by a critical double strike leader swing just for pressure. Now all these blank cards are proxied for them. I was borrowing them for the tournament, but like Uneasy Alliance Son Goku was probably one of the MVP cards in this deck because it will let you recycle any of your cheap negates between SS Vegeta Blast, the Manja Master Roshi U7 negates. It bounces back Hercule Majin Buu, and then you can use Hercule Majin Buu to bounce back Uneasy and keep that loop going. Outvalue your opponents that way. This negate usually turns on around turn 4 or 5, and then becomes a really solid negate and beater. And that was just Union Fusion and easy pitch fodder for frontside leader ability. Now these cards, the Adult Cost and Ultra Instinct Son Goku, the OG Gogeta fodders, UI still came in clutch sometimes. Just holding it up can stop certain plays. Still extremely powerful card, but it's not. I wouldn't say it was as powerful as Uneasy Alliance Son Goku. Adult Cost Vegeta is still a great game finisher. When your opponent's tap low, they're just not expecting, especially if you're on 6 mana. You can pick him back up from the drop area with leader ability and then play him and try to go from game. It's also a good self-awakener still if your opponent doesn't have the counter plays to stop him. For our extra card suite, we have 4 D Magics, just best negate in the game still. 4 Sensu Beans. Honestly, I felt like 4 might have been too much, might go down to 3. The 3 Barrier of Hope. This card was really good. You can combo away to help fill up the drop area for the SS Vegeta, and most of the time I was just using it as 3 mana to draw through. Like I'd bounce back something irrelevant, or if they did have something relevant, it gets like Successor if you're on the play, and they put in a Broly and you're on 4 mana, you can then bounce it back, draw 2. They didn't really get anything out of that. And then because you play Beerus and D Magic while filling up for Sparking easily, you're never really tapped out after doing this. So you get to dig really hard through your deck while keeping your opponent off tempo. And over in the corner is just the 4 Master Roshi blue negates. That helps you 7, fill up graveyard and recycle with Uneasies and Hercule Majin Buus. And you can keep picking these negates back up with leader ability and recycling. I negated a Gohan player all the way up to turn 7, and he never, on leader swing, never got through after that, after like turn 3. We played 3 Intensifying Power Trunks, just another cheap self-awakener against, like, you need these against like Piccolo Gohan to apply pressure back, and just any deck trying to stall you out to a degree. It's also really good against the Successor build if you're on the play. Just helps you fill up your hand for cards and allowing you to apply pressure. Since you also play so many negates, you can keep them protected. Fairly simple, and just keep chipping away at your opponent while awakening yourself. Now for the one-ups, I did play one of this Gohan. It was honestly just here because so much of my like U7s are blue. It was just red combo fodder, has the U7 tag, and could be relevant. I never casted it. It was always either pitched or comboed away for a rival. Since we don't play extra cards, or the blue-red multi-extra cards, can't really use the Apex of Power, even though it'd be cool to keep looping him with leader ability, but we don't play that. So we had his audible to the Black Smoke Dragon, because I mean, if you're, after you spark him with Gogeta 7, you're at 10, it's kind of trivial to go to 12 and then play this on a following turn after Gogeta 7, just warp their entire hand, then you keep critting him to death with leader ability. I've decked people out. Most of the time I just warp their hands, and I mean, card does it all. Board wipe, negate it, mill 7, draw 2, pretty good. Win con right there, and then you warp their hand away. That's the main thing. And then the last one we play a combo attack cooler. It's just another way to loop coolers and apply a lot of cheap aggro pressure. So you can bounce cooler back with him, and then you can bounce him back into your hand with Hercule Majin Buu, which will then give you another cooler activation, or you can bounce it back with Uneasy to bounce back cooler, and you keep going. Like, the deck will recycle and replace itself. Like, it doesn't have super hard draw power, but the fact that everything in its way replaces itself or can recycle or re-loop is pretty insane. I didn't think this deck was going to be as good as it was, and it was a ton of fun to play. I'll probably keep playing around and messing with it. In Dropbox 5s, it gets a new tool with another negate, an Android 17 negate, which honestly probably get chipped down for like the Sensu Bean and Intensify Power Trunks, and the Gohan will become this Android 17 negate in combination with like 1-drop Frieza Death's Embrace. But that's for later. Alright guys, thank you. This is the Android 17 deck profile, and stay tuned for more from the Godstrike Report.